Well, we're back again, folks. We got another episode of Crap Point for all you watching out there. Back at the grindstone, as we say, you know. More of this bullshit.
Are you not satisfied with the show? What's going
Let
on?
me do my intro. I'm Dril. You know who I am. And no, I'm not fucking satisfied. I'm trapped in the fucking Julian Assange's fucking room. Smells like piss. I'm trapped in the lockdown. I gotta fucking get out of here. I gotta.
Well, Julian Assange is not there
air.
with you in the Ecuadorian embassy anymore. He's like in that fucking special jail they have near the Denver airport.
Oh, Christ's sake.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm Derek Estevez-Olsen. I'm a journalist. I'm an explorer. I'm a lot of things. I'm kind of multi-talented. And this is TruthPoint, everybody. Dril, I don't know. It looks like you got a cleft. Is something going on? Have you been working out your chin?
Cleft. Yeah.
Looks like you got a cleft.
Yeah, I've been working out a little bit.
I think that's called a cleft. A little, you know, the little ass hole on your chin.
What, like a hair lip?
No. Anyway, that's not the topic. Tonight's topic is country living. And as you can see, I'm not in the country. It looks like I'm in the country. This is just a simulation. I'm actually in the city. That's why I'm wearing this mask, because of all the heavy smog. I'm in an undisclosed location, but there's lots of toxins and COVID, and someone tried to spit in my mouth earlier when I was walking on the sidewalk. But we're gonna talk about all that later. We're gonna tell you all about what country is. We've got a special guest coming up later, Sheriff John Cunt.
John Cunt.
Who's gonna, I believe he's a rural man.
That's
And
right. He's a good old boy.
we'll get all that later. But first, I believe we have some live footage from the countryside.
Derek.
Oh, and and there's TruthBot. I forgot to introduce TruthBot. TruthBot is the guy.
I live inside of the computer.
Fuck out of here.
He's the fucking.
Thank you.
He
Ain't none
runs
of
the
this
show.
down south where I'm from. Yeah, I'm from the south now.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Roll the footage.
Roll the
Toby, I got me a regular Ben-Hur down here. Doing 95 minimum. Need any help, J.J.? Hell no!
Bottom cabbage down, big and market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down. I wouldn't marry an old man, I'll tell you the reason why. His mouth is all the packages, he never zips his fly. Bottom cabbage down, big and market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Deep dark depression, excessive misery. My wife died Friday, Saturday she was buried. Sunday was my courting day, Monday I was married. Bottom cabbage down, big market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down. I wouldn't marry a lawyer, tell you the reason why. Goes around the countryside, making people lie. Bottom cabbage down, big market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down.
Police initially made a bust at this trailer behind me, but it wasn't long before they made another meth bust, and this time at the trailer across the street. Clarksville police arrested a total of 3 people, all accused of running a meth lab.
Bottom cabbage down, big market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down. Bottom cabbage down, big market brown. The only song I can sing is bottom cabbage down.
folks. Incredible camera work. And just remember, there's a driver in every one of those cars.
That's Southern living for you, folks. Now we're gonna, get down with the good old boys. We're gonna have a good old time. I got me some that Southern Comfort. That's that good boy whiskey. And we're gonna have us a little hootenanny. So
Where exactly does Southern Comfort come from in the South? Yeah, read the fucking bottle. Yeah, you're not a Southerner. You don't know.
No.
I tell you, the way a Southerner would find out where it's from would not be from reading the bottle like a nerd.
Shut the fuck up. We're gonna, do a little flapping our gums. How about let's talk.
You got some kind of high school presentation to do.
Yeah,
I'll leave you to it.
Shit. Boy, you don't even know. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about country living. Let's begin with fuck cities, right? Cities are no good. There's too much hustle and bustle, too many cell phones and computers and wristwatches. Everyone lives too close together. You got the COVID going around. You got people coughing and spitting in each other's eyes. And if you live in a city, there's like a 90% chance that you're mistakenly eating your neighbor's shit every single day. Everyone's constantly trying to run you over in their cars and yelling at you, telling you either to take on or put off your pants. And the whole thing's a total clown show. So, what's so good about living here in the fucking city? The fire departments, the hospitals, the big Hollywood movie theaters. So what? Fire department, you're fired. Yeah. Can you even trust the big city fire departments? No. Like, how could you possibly even know, what kind of chemicals they're spraying your house with? Like, rat poison? Men's urine? What, are you gonna ask them? They're not gonna tell you. Firemen actually cause more fires than they put out. That's a fact. No, thank you. Now, down back here where I'm from, if I get something set on fire, I'm gonna call Lloyd the bucket man, because I know him and I trust him and his bucket. And if I need some medicine, you think I'm going to the hospital, letting them pump all that 5G computer nonsense into my veins? No, sir. I'm going to see Lloyd the Bucket Man, who's also the damn town witch doctor. He'll fix me right up. Now, what is country living? I like to say KISS. Keep it Southern simple. Yes, sir. Give me that fresh country air. Yes, sir. Give me them verdant fields, those golden grains of whey. Those Purple Mountains majesty. Country living is all about taking a shit in a hollowed out stump while listening to the harmonious bellows of El Chupacabra off in the distance. Country living is about harvesting blubber from a beach whale with nothing but an ice cream scoop and a fanny pack. Now, you don't know the value of hard work until you spent 18 hours in a hot barn, jacking dogs and goats off into a wooden bucket. I made my first dollar mixing liquefied armadillos in a big old pot and using them to help build the highways and byways across our boastful nation. And what have you done with your life, city boy? Well, let me tell you what us southern boys get up to. Oh boy. Now, where I'm from, we don't believe in the damn Netflix. You'll get killed for talking about Netflix over here. No, us Southern boys, we make our own entertainment, start a dog fighting ring behind CC's Pizzeria, getting a hammer from Pepe's toolbox and nailing some frogs to rats or frogs to other frogs. Tying a very small, weak man to the railroad tracks and savoring his pain. Did we go to prison for any of this? No, the sheriff was our father. He was all of our dads. What's he gonna do, arrest his own sons? Hell no. Honor among blood. Something these city boys would know nothing about. Now, we got a saying down south in the heartland, back in little old small town America. You may have heard of it. We all drink from the same well, people. And if someone wants to drop a bunch of poison into that well and kill the entire town, that's their right as a Southern American. That's their First Amendments, and it's none of our goddamn business. Thank you. That's the South.
That's it?
I'll drink to that, bitch.
That was so fucking made up. That was so phony. You don't know shit about living in the countryside. You're clearly like, look at you. You're wearing...
What do you know?
You're wearing a movie producer's outfit.
Yeah, they make movies down in South. Down in South. You ever hear of the Dukes of Hazzard? That's a movie. It's good.
All right. Well, you're talking about the remake, which isn't whatever. I have a thing also. I'm going to be talking.
Shit. Let's see you embarrass yourself.
Let's see.
I'll give you that rope and let you hang yourself.
Jesus Christ. There it is. All right. Country living. Let's get into it. What's it all about? Let's find out. Well, there's the 3 country virtues, which we all know. Serenity, simplicity, and peace. And here we have the man embodying these 3 virtues. But wait a minute. We know that for every virtue there is a counter virtue, right? And so the 3 country counter virtues are rage, ignorance, and desperation. And these entirely negate the 3 virtues of country living, making the country a virtueless and nihilistic place. Holy shit, TruthBot, can you turn it down a little bit? It's just a little bit too wild for me right now. I'm also suffocating in my mask. Very hard to talk in these things. Now let's take a look at... Let's take a look at crime statistics. Over 99% of misdeeds are in the countryside are caused by country folk. So it's not city people doing this, it's country folk. We got things like antics, tomfoolery, and meth production and distribution. Farting, spitting, testicle itching, and of course a house that smells like dog piss. And scientists are saying, what the fuck is wrong with these people? In comparison, let's look at the city folk, okay? They're sophisticated, they're handsome, they're smart, and they are important. They've gone to at least 1, maybe 2 colleges. They get haircuts from a person whose entire job it is to cut hair. They know all the best restaurants in the city, and they tip. But, what? Is there something wrong with living outside of a major city? Well, in ancient times, there was a name for those who lived outside the city. That name was barbarians. Folks like this woman on the left. The gentleman here on the right. This fella. And yes, even this man. They don't always have clothes. That's what's so scary about them. And you look at these G-shucks, small-town yokels, and one day they might be harmless, they might just be sitting at the bar showing off their Tasmanian devil tattoo, but they just as soon break open your soft city boy skull and drink the wet meat inside. They're barbarians by another name. You can see them there. So let's do a little bit of a fact check about these people. They've invaded our society. They lie in wait, basically in the shadows of night. They can just spring up at any time and overthrow us, and we're doing nothing about it. They have 0% good culture. If you go on to CMT, Country Music Television, you'll see a bunch of like people selling, you know, it's like a small town pawn shop or whatever, and they're just like digging through the dirt. And this is their entertainment. This is what they produce for us. They love Skin Callers Ruckus, and of course, the leading theory is they attack and destroy cities at night. And they might also be genetically linked to the ancient barbarians of yore. So, let's analyze this. You know, as you can see, you know, they've never really been to brunch. They don't have Ubers. They don't know what streetwear is. They don't even have streets. They start smoking cigs at age 5. All their houses smell like cigs. And if we look here, this is a quote from Sun Tzu Quotes, and it says, "What is of supreme importance in war is to attack the enemy's strategy." So what's their strategy? Why are cities always so fucked up and look like garbage? It's because they're coming in at night, they've got their invisibility armor, they've got their ability to smell like deer urine. If you're ever out on the street in the city and you're like, what is that, deer urine? And you look around and you don't see anything, it's probably one of these people. They're wearing their camo outfit. So what do we do with this problem? Well, the solution is clear. We just give them the countryside. We let them have it, essentially. And in exchange, they are not allowed to come into the cities. We bar off the cities. We hermetically seal the cities and keep them safe. Let them have the rest of the country. And is it really such a radical idea? Because this is our country. It's 99% garbage. Okay? But this is the new paradigm. The barbarian wasteland, the vast wastes, wide swaths of land where there's nothing, now it's their problem. Okay? They have to deal with building the roads, pretending that there's anything important there. You can have it. Meanwhile, we get to stay in the cities. This is something that's called Society's Gambit, and it's a well-known theory. So this is the future, right? This is the year 2021. All cities are walled off to the outside world. If you want to go from one city to the next, you have to take a plane. Every city has amazing libraries, movies in the park, and free Wi-Fi on buses. On the outskirts, men fight and die like dogs for scraps of yarn to make their illiterate children baseball jerseys, while the countryside is completely collapsed due to all the fast food places closing down. Meanwhile, city dwellers begin to evolve into a new hyper-intelligent species that loves to jog and play board games. And in the distant future, it would be good to cover the entire planet in one giant city and eliminate the countryside so that no more country folk can ever exist. However, there would be one small allotment for the girl in China who makes those peaceful YouTube videos where she calmly roasts a lamb. Here. So some final questions just to wrap up. There's goldfish theory. That's basically, you know, if you take a goldfish and you take him from a little bowl and you put him in a big aquarium, he'll get bigger. Goldfish grow to suit their environment. It might be the case that people are also like that. That might explain why people in the country are so much bigger than city people, and they have like a tougher exterior skin. Let them live in the zoo. This is, you know, maybe just a fun idea because they like to be around animals. We wouldn't have to pay them. Kidnap their young. I mean, I don't know about this one. Again, I'm just asking questions, but like clearly, if we re-educate children to be city folk, that would just be better for them objectively. And city people tend not to have as many offspring, so I think in the end it would balance out. Another good question: why do they hate us? Why do the country folk hate city folk? And we just don't know. And of course, is hating barbarians racism? And I genuinely don't know. I don't think it is. The end.
Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I can't even believe you bust out the B word like that.
Which one?
You know which one. You know,
I used hundreds or thousands of words in my presentation. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Did
you even hear goldfish theory? It's totally fine to call them barbarians. Okay, you have a city center. Those are the city dwellers. I explained it in the fucking PowerPoint. In the city, there's full humans.
They fight each other. We Southern gentlemen, we use dogs to settle our disagreements. We make the dogs fight like gentlemen.
If you're not born in a city, if you're not raised in a city, if you don't live in a city, you're an incomplete person. Okay, you haven't had all the experiences you haven't gone to a late night diner just to hang out.
Of, absorbing everyone's shit, all the homeless people's shit in your lungs.
Yes, it's called the melting pot, and it makes you stronger for every time. For every time you smell a homeless man's fart, you get that much wiser, because you're kind of like
strong, all right.
You're encountering new cultures. You're encountering
living among the rats. That's where the rats move to. That's where they all scurry. They all gather into the cities and run about the subways and take human-sized shits in your cereal.
Human-sized shits? You mean a shit the size of a human, or the shit the size of a human shit?
The size of a shit that a human would make with his ass.
Okay, well, I haven't seen any of these human shits.
I got my moonshine here. We're gonna be here all night.
All right, we've clearly come to an impasse. Let's go ahead and bring in Sheriff John Cunt, a real Southern man. Maybe you can straighten you out.
Set the city boy straight right now.
Well, that's a shitty way to introduce our guest. Don't just say "set the city boy straight." You could be talking about yourself, for example. John Cunt, nice to see you.
How y'all doing? Thanks for having me on the show here.
Welcome, high-profile guest.
How y'all doing?
Hey, John Cunt. We're doing great. Where you coming at us from? Where you hollering at us from?
I'm Oak Grove, North Carolina.
Oh wow, North Carolina.
25, about 45 miles outside of. If you know Charlotte, you know where that be. Then it's
boy, that's deep.
I certainly don't. Charlotte is what we call flyover.
You go down 95, you go just keep heading down south.
Now, are you from Oak Grove? Are you sheriff of Oak Grove? No, you're a carpetbagger. You moved to Oak Grove to gentrify it.
I'm from Prince County, which is about 25, 35 miles west.
You're more of a Western type.
Yeah. But I lived in Boston for about 25 years, about from when I was 9 till I was 18 or so. However many years that be.
Wait, what? You lived in Boston?
Yeah, I was a jazz piano student at a conservatory, playing piano.
Well, where'd you pick up the accent?
Well, it's all politics down here. You know, I got to do what I got to do to maintain my position.
You mean sheriff?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, I'm sheriff down here. Now we got about 2,500 people in the area, so I've been monitoring I'm in charge of that district. Y'all know how that goes.
Not really. How do you find coming from the jazz background?
Y'all want to take one question at a time?
Dril, please go.
So you've been putting them no goodness behind bars.
Well,
any of the...
you know, we got it pretty easy down there. We don't have too much trouble. A lot of our citizens, we all know each other. That's why I love country living. It's easy, and there's not a lot of trouble, not a lot of chatter. We had you
A
know,
lot of lawyers.
yeah, it's just kind of, everyone minds their business. We have a lot of retirees, a lot of people who are on the last stage of life and who are passing in great numbers recently because of the disease that swept through our town.
Which disease?
We had a toxic gas leak from a local DuPont plant who came and spilled something called purple gas. Spilled all over, went into our water supply and caused the death of 99 people over the age of 80.
Now, are you having to do a lot of, country law crackdowns? Are you having to, like, pull 17-year-old wet people out of the fucking lake because they're going around knocking down mailboxes and shit like that? Or what's going on?
Yeah, well, you know what? Saturday night gets a little rough. You get people down the quarry committing suicide, and you're dragging bodies out of the lake here and there, and but that's just par for the course down here. That's the country. That's the country way.
Do you think when people get bored, they hurt each other on purpose?
Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of self-mutilation. We've seen them. There are children, 16, 17-year-old girls cutting their heads off, cutting their friends' heads off, and bleeding out in the middle of the, we've got some trailer park people here that don't, they kind of have their own rules. So we try to give them a little bit of room to be who they are.
What do you do when you see that? Do you shoot them?
Teen craze. They're sucking all the blood out of cows and leaving the carcasses around.
Yeah, we have a bit of that. There's a lot of farming down here, a lot of cattle.
A lot of nasty
plants.
behavior.
I'll take it any day. I'll take it any day over Boston and New York and.
You lived in New York also.
City living. No, I'm saying just in general, the city living. I've seen it on TV. I used to watch that show, Friends. Them all living together in that beautiful apartment.
No, I don't think they all lived in the same apartment.
They all lived in the same. Well, one group lived in one apartment. I seen it this morning. I was watching this morning on Netflix. They got one apartment that's full women, and then across the way is where the men live. On the other side of the apartment, you could walk out the door. I don't know if it was next door, down the road, whatever, or down up the flight of stairs or whatever. They come in, and that's how they all talk and hang out. They got the window back there where you can see the whole city. It's a beautiful apartment.
No, I can imagine. This isn't a very good show. I mean, I'm guessing you're just watching it, to do research for the persecuting that you're going out and doing.
Because there's fucking nothing to do in the country. Because he doesn't have anything to do. Because there's no crime except for suicides. Because people are losing their minds.
It's quiet. And I got my deputy. I send him out there. Someone jump off a bridge, jump into a quarry, knock their head, put a shotgun in the mouth. Or otherwise, they're going to put that hose in their car, the carbon monoxide. That's for the medical examiner. That's not much I can do about that.
What do you do? Everyone in your town is killing themselves. What do you do to stop this? You're a sheriff. I mean, do you do anything or just show up and look at all the fucking mangled bodies?
That's none of my business. I just try to keep the peace. And if you want to end your life, well, that's God's plan for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
You're being just a fucking suck up right now, Dril. You don't know anything about this shit.
I just think
I've been in this shit. I live in this shit.
I just think that's the choice. That's a free society. This ain't no country where you got some socialist agenda where they make you keep going no matter what. If it's your choice, you want to make that plunge into the quarry or stick a hose in there with out of the back of your car. You see it in the movies, and you cut. You get your knife and cut your wrists open while you're taking a bath. That's all things that we encourage here, or we don't encourage. I shouldn't say that, but we certainly understand it.
If you lived in the
Absolutely.
city, you'd go to a Montessori school. You'd go to the library after work. And you'd read the books, and you'd gain a lot of knowledge. And then after that, you might pick up a skill and earn money online from home. And then you'd never be out in the fields cutting your head off with garden shears or whatever the hell.
Oh,
Well, it's a short, cruel life. For your country living is short and cruel, and that's how people grow up knowing that you know that.
Well,
for
here in the
some-
city, people live to be 80 years old. They look beautiful the entire time. They're jogging. Their skin is smooth.
and then they go directly to hell because there's no God there. There's no heartland. It's all just, you know.
We
I'm
don't
gonna
need
go
them. We
backstab
don't
my
need
fellow
any. We don't
man,
need
and
any
I'm
of
gonna
that
jack
shit.
off my
We have
fellow
book
man and
clubs.
take his money.
We have
we got
podcasts.
the elderly. We got people here now, 80, 90 years old, getting killed from purple gas. So you try to tell a 16, 19, 22, 25-year-old that they got something to live for, when the next, all they got coming for them is be surrounded by purple gas, and they get asphyxiated and die. So they're saying, I'll take the shortcut.
Well, there's no proof that purple gas actually does that. I mean, people are dying from all sorts of causes. You can't really pin purple gas on every little thing that happens.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I went down there with the hazmat suit on to see what the aftermath of the purple gas incident, and my goodness, that gas was so thick you could cut it like a knife. Cut it with a knife. It was thicker than butter. It was just, you was in the air, and you knew that was no good. Now you knew that was getting into the lungs, and I was taking the people in that rest home down. That was the reason. I would swear that was the reason. I know more. I don't know nothing about no chemistry of DuPont, what they're doing, the gas. But woo, that's how you go if you get the purple gas. You're not gonna come out of that too well.
Yeah. I'll take the purple gas over the rat piss that, is caked on the walls of the subway.
It's
every time you
absolutely,
go there.
there's nothing unhealthy about taking the subway. No one's ever gotten hurt on the subway as far as I know. Meanwhile, John Cunt he's the president of a fucking county where all the old people are dying.
The old people and the young people as well.
And the young people, probably some children even.
It's only recently that there's this idea of life being something that you want to strive for. Back in the frontier days, people would just be looking for ways to get out of this living, and now this the consumerism, and everyone said you gotta go down to Target and buy everything that comes down the shelf. That's fairly recent. Most throughout human existence, people have been looking for the off ramp.
It's kind of just like you're born and as soon as you're smart enough, you try to kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, country ways are, you try to procreate as quick as possible. We have girls here, 16. And back in my day when I was growing up, in my imagined days, not in my own actual life. We have children marrying very young and having children at very young ages. And get that part of the process over with, because that's the only true reason to be alive is to continue the species.
Yes.
Once you've completed that, then you can move on.
Certainly.
How many kids you got, John Cunt?
I got 14 children. I almost said 40. 14 children. And I'm a great
You like
grandfather.
any of them?
I'm a great grandfather. I can say that. I'm 44 years old and I'm a great grandfather.
You like these kids or what?
Burn them in midnight oil.
Well, 14 of them, I have 14 of them. I had 14 of them. I have 9 now. Many of them have gone on and passed away.
Gone on to what? Live different places or just die?
No, they've gone into different stages, well, all stages of final resting.
Oh. None of them made it out. None of them moved away from Oak Ridge.
Well, no, one of them is in Charlotte. She works for, she did work for, Five Third Bank, whatever it is, the 5/3 bank, great bank. I keep an account there because she has a relationship there with the manager and lets me get without no fees on my checking account.
We got some questions here, Mr. John Cunt, and we'd love if you went over them with us. You know, the viewers at home have sent in questions they want you to answer.
I'll be glad to.
We love some of your sage advice, sir.
They want a real Southern man. They don't want drill. Got a question here. Should mamas let their babies grow up to be cowboys? What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose that's all right.
Turn down the fucking music a little bit.
I'm not familiar with that expression.
Well, you know, whoever asked this question is clearly confused. We're not here to fucking talk about cowboys. You know, cowboys aren't from the true South. They're from the West. You know, cowboys are a bunch of highfalutin, city-slicking, civilization-sucking sellouts. They can giddy up and mosey on back to Houston with the rest of the pink bellies. You know, we're here to talk about the damn true heartland. The true heartland country living. And, you know, don't talk to me about the fucking cowboys as fucking horse charmers.
Yeah, I don't give no
just-
shit about no cowboys neither, so I'm with you on that one, Dril.
Yeah, bro, just let your kids be insurance salesmen or whatever. Next question.
I say don't let your babies grow up. I think, you know, as soon as you can get them to a certain age where they can procreate, then you should start encouraging them to consider wrapping things up.
Should I use birdshot or a bear rifle when hunting ducks?
Well, you
What
won't
do you-
use. I
what do
mean,
you
that's just about the dumbest question I've ever heard. That's that. You don't use birdshot. That's 100% of the time. I don't even do no bear rifle. That's good for putting horses down. You got a horse you got to put down. Use a bear rifle or a horse rifle. We call it a horse rifle. If you're gonna go horse hunting, that's the gun you're gonna use. It's sort of interchangeable.
Certainly.
You can literally just fly a helicopter into a flock of birds and kill them all with the blades, and it's probably smarter than using a gun.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You know, people from the true South. Everyone thinks the South is like, they're all gung ho about these guns and shooting. But back in the real South, guns are for cowards. They're like a sissy weapon. People prefer hunting animals the way their grandpappies did it with the caveman clubs, the big, Fred Flintstone style. While you're out in the hunt, you go to Walmart. They got the caveman clubs at Walmart. They got like the Confederate flag printed on them. They'll hook you up real nice. You start wielding one or two of them bad boys, and you can bring pain to any society of animal. Let me tell you.
We have a woman who lives in this in our district who has a very small horse ranch, and she breeds horses to be sold to different for different reasons. For horse whatever you use horses for. Ship them up to New York for the Central Park, whatever. But she, when those horses get a bit too old and aren't of no use to her no more, this is about once a year, maybe once every other year, she'll have a good old horse hunt out there on the ranch, and she'll let myself and my deputy and some of the more responsible people in the county go out and hunt the horse, and we'll use bow and arrow. And we'll use clubs and knives and whatever it is, but you can't bring firearms onto her property.
Maybe like a landmine.
Horses, they deserve it just as much as any other animal.
They deserve what? Death?
Yeah.
And last year I caught my first horse, and I had the horse beheaded and the head mounted in my office, which I would show you, but I'm at my home right now. Well, we have a beautiful horse head hanging right over my desk, and it's an honor. It was an honor to take that horse down.
Absolutely.
Next question. Will the South ever truly succeed?
Well,
they're already succeeding.
Yeah, I think we're. I don't think we've ever been stronger. As a people, as a nation, as a community. So I think there's a bit of wordplay there. I think you're trying to have a little bit of fun with us, but I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm not gonna step into that trap.
The Lord lets things succeed in mysterious ways. That's all I'm gonna really say about that.
Next question.
What do you think?
But I don't give a shit. I don't care about the South. Who gives a fuck? There's nothing good in the South. I don't like the question. What is the most impressive wild animal you have killed?
Well, I mean, that horse, she wasn't wild, but she was a mighty beast. 7 foot tall, 16 years old, beautiful brown mane. She had lost her teeth the year before, so she was just all gums. And she was blind in one eye, but they didn't extract the eye, so she looked as if she had sight. She had clean, big black eyes.
What'd you say you caught her with? A mace or what'd you say?
I hit with a club, with a club, and then cut the head off while she lay dying.
Pretty good. One time I was driving and there were like thousands of these tiny little crabs all trying to cross the street. And I just kept on driving, because what else am I going to do, But I must have run over about 10,000 of these little fucking crabs walking around. And I can imagine they must have revered my Ford truck as some sort of a cruel god. And that's the most impressive kill, I think. It's multiple kills, multiple small kills, but it all adds up to a very impressive package.
Well, the question said what wild animals, so it didn't say animals. I don't think you get to wrap that all into one. You just pick one of the crabs, I think. With my car, I hit a white owl. There was a white owl perched on the road. Well, I thought it was a plastic bag, and I ran it right over. Because I thought after I hit it, I was like, oh, this is a plastic bag full of shit. And I backed up. I think I hit it again. I got in my car, and it was a just completely mutilated white owl. And I thought it was a bad omen for a while, but ever since then, my life has only kind of gotten better and better. Anyway, next question.
Tragic. The hardships of nature.
What livestock can crossbreed? This is a good.
If the Lord intended us to crossbreed our animals, He would have given them 2 penises. The only thing I crossbreed my livestock with is the sweet embrace of death.
Yeah, that's all I got. I could ask my neighbor. He owns a hog farm. He operates a hog farm. It's illegal hog farm. It's not licensed by the state, and so that's where we get our hog meat from. He's tried to mate pigs with humans on several occasions not through sexual breeding, but through surgeries and cutting parts off and sewing them onto different parts and all that nonsense. I don't know much about it. I don't quite understand what he's trying to get at. I know he cut a pig's head off and stuffed it on his daughter's head or some shit like that. She came out screaming, saying, "I got pig blood on me, the fuck away from me." And there was shots fired on that night.
Yeah,
I don't have a
PhD, but as far as I know, surgery is a valid medical practice.
Man, yeah, your doctor here is about 45 minutes away, so you better be ready to sew up any kind of, wounds or anything like that. I cut my ring finger off intentionally a couple nights ago. And then regretted that, so I ended up sewing that back on quickly because I knew my way a little bit around how to do small surgeries like that.
Yeah, and of course, sex is a kind of surgery itself because it begins with the insemination and it ends with the baby sort of exploding out of the woman's pussy, which, you know, there's a lot of blood. I would call that a surgery. I guess my answer to the question would be any livestock can probably crossbreed if they have enough sex. I don't think you can just do it once, though. I think it has to be a lot.
Certainly. You know,
Next
if you
question.
need a doctor, I'll
Yeah,
hook you
I
up with-
studied jazz piano. I didn't study animal husbandry. You know, so I'm a little. I ain't gonna be the go-to guy on that one.
Absolutely, sure.
How would you recommend I prepare my dip? Any good dip recipes?
Yeah. This is a fun one now. You know, all the mainstream dip brands out there, you know, like Skull, you got Rebel Pop, you got Marble Wad, and Dippin' Dots. You know, they don't cut the mustard for me. You know, here's what I do. I got a few friends working in the construction industry, and every week they hook me up with one of their big toddler drowning buckets full of roofing tar. And you know, I dip a wad of toilet paper in there, and I keep it packed to my top and bottom lips all day long. Really satisfies those chow cravings.
I would say it's gross, and that I wouldn't prepare it in any way. I wouldn't buy it. It seems like a waste of money.
It's gross. Ugh. Ugh.
I mean, you're the one like fucking belly aching about rat piss, but I don't stick rat piss in my mouth and fucking let it fester in a wad until I get cancer.
Ugh.
Well, I got one of them vaporizing dip boxes. You seen these? They sell now at 7-Eleven, Circle K's. A little thing this big. You plug it into your USB for about an hour, and then you stick it in your lips, and it gives you that burn. It burns. It tastes like electricity. It tastes like a battery. Put like a AA battery up there, and it kind of gives you a little jolt.
Yeah. You know,
now, Sheriff Cunt, I mean, did you outlaw Jewel in your county? Has that been outlawed there?
Richard Jewell?
I don't know what that is.
Richard
the
Jewell,
movie?
the man who was accused of blowing up the World Trade Center in 1991.
Yeah. Well, that was Osama bin Laden, they found out.
I'm sorry, you got that one mixed up. 2011 was the World Trade Center with the planes. That's 2011. 1991's Richard Jewell. He drove a pickup truck under the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, and blew that shit up. He had a nuclear warhead in there. And Richard Jewell was convicted of murder and 25,000 people, but he was proven innocent by Clint Eastwood recently through a film he made with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Oh.
Do country boys have access to any powers or abilities that city boys lack?
Do country boys have access to any powers or abilities that city boys lack?
I think just ignore the word powers. Maybe focus on the word abilities. If we could.
We got the ability to kill people with impunity, like James Bond, because all our dads are either sheriffs or judges, and we say, "Please don't send me to jail, Papa. Please don't send me to jail." And he says, "Okay, but you can't go around doing as you do." And we say, "Okay, Papa, I ain't gonna go around doing as I do anymore."
This is fucking offensive, man. You've never been to the country. I don't know why are you saying all this stuff? It's like you've been watching a bunch of hee-haw or something.
I got the heart of a countryman in me. And,
have you ever been to the country? Have you ever seen an animal bigger than like a dog?
What kind of animal?
I'm not gonna name one. You should know if you've seen them.
Bigger than a dog.
You don't know what you're talking about. I did the research for my PowerPoint. You don't know shit.
Giraffe?
You got all your info from cartoons. You're embarrassing yourself in front of John Cunt.
No, I like that kid. I like you, the bald head. I think you got a good head on your shoulders. You seem like an all right fella, and I respect what you're doing here. So
Thank you. Thanks for the respect.
Keep
I'm not getting it from this other guy.
keep doing you. That's what we say around the house.
It's called balance.
Thank
You
you,
got
sir.
one idea that's fucking stupid, and I'm trying to tell you it's fucked up.
And then you have the good idea to balance it out, which is
My ideas.
yeah, sure.
You didn't even answer the question. Do country boys have access to any powers or abilities that city boys lack? I'll answer it for you. No, they don't.
Well, I have this something. I don't mean you might be able to get this in the city, but I got this HP brand printer, inkjet printer, and y'all can take. I can take any book or interview or story or any article. I was on OAN.com. They had an article there by Mark LIVIN, and I printed that out quickly. I just pressed print, and that. It's, you know, I don't have to go down to the bookstore. Don't have to go down to the newsstand. I can just print that there at home and staple it and read it when at my leisure.
Sure thing.
Yeah, in the city, you just get on a bus. You're on it for like 40 minutes. You get to the library. You wait for it to open. You wait for a computer to open up. You talk to the librarian. You try to get the password to access the printer. And then if you have like a dime for some reason, you can print the same shit out. So it's really... Yes, we can do that in the city. It's easy. Next question.
God gave us mouths so we don't have to have books, is what I'm saying.
Oh, this is a good one for you, Sheriff. What crimes are considered country?
Well, we got a little bit of a different definition of crimes and laws down here. You know, you ain't gonna get no ticket for having a plastic straw. You ain't gonna get no. You ain't gonna get busted for. Looking the wrong way at someone. It's a bit rough down here, and we give you a lot of latitude to make your own choices. But you know, we try to discourage intentional murder, intentional. We have sort of the intentional destruction of business. You can destroy someone's home if you have good reason, but we want to keep our businesses strong, especially our small businesses, and keep those businesses safe. And a gentleman had a shoe store was recently torched, and we frown on that.
The gentleman or the shoe store?
We frown on the torching of stores that's been sort of happening a lot on the weekends. We want to protect the stores, so we've made that illegal to burn down stores.
That's a good step.
The South has most of the crimes out there. It's just another thing that the North has stolen from us and appropriated from our culture. It's all these crimes.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of medical alcoholism, or they had that fucking thing in the South where like once a year they would elect one person that they would all like stone to death or something. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, we don't do that no more, but we used to.
Yeah, times have changed. Oh, here's a good question. How do we stop the Confederacy?
How do we stop you from running your goddamn mouth is what I'm asking you. Why would you want to stop the Confederacy? There's no reason to stop it, is what I'm saying. You know, the Confederacy, it was started ironically as a joke, just to piss off all you fancy types with your northern ways. And you know, judging by all these questions, I guess it worked. What, you hate jokes? Oh yeah, nail me to the cross then. I like jokes. Whatever.
Yeah, it's water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. I figure, you know, we won. Essentially, it was a bit of a draw, but, you know, as you see the way things are going now, we're going to see probably round 2 of that coming up in the next few months. And, you know, best out of 3 wins. That's the sort of understanding as far as that goes.
So you have to win one in order to be tied, basically, is what you're saying.
That's what's looking like. I mean, right now we are tied because I don't believe there was a victor in the last one. So I think that was a draw, and we'll see how.
Well, I think the
next one
only
goes.
guys I've seen wearing Confederate outfits is like the cosplayers that like pretend they're in the Confederate Army and they do the little fake wars with each other, and those guys don't look like they're in shape. They don't even have real guns. Yeah,
Well,
I think yeah, one Tomahawk missile will just wipe all those guys out. Here's a good question. I live in the country, and last year all my chickens were eaten by a pack of coyotes. Coyotes. You have any advice on how to prevent this?
You know, how about you forget about the damn chickens and start a coyote farm, dumbass? You know, why don't you sell baby coyotes instead of eggs? You can cook up some baby coyote omelets. You know, I don't know, man.
Coyotes are good meat. You know, you can. It's a bit stringy and ain't a ton of it. But if you kill yourself, you know, we would do a cull of 40, 50 coyotes and strip them of the fur and butcher them up. You know, you get about 30 pounds of meat out of that quick.
It's essentially a dog, but a little bit leaner. It's kind of like the turkey of dogs compared to chicken. If you're on a diet, you might eat
There's
coyotes.
cheap meat. There's cheap meat. All right, listen, fellas. I got Friends coming on the TV here on Netflix at 10, so I gotta jump off.
Oh, you got skedaddle. Well, thanks so
Yeah.
much, Sheriff John Cunt, for joining us.
Appreciate it. All right,
We learned some. All right.
y'all take care, and whether you're living in the country or the city, you just gotta take it one day at a time. And we appreciate all the work y'all doing there. I know you're doing a good job, and I know things are going to work out for you no matter what.
Absolutely,
wow.
sir.
Thanks, John Cunt. Wow.
Time.
Optimistic note from John Cunt. I mean, he is a politician, but he really went out, you know.
Goddamn politician, but he's
I guess that's what we call some of that barbarian hospitality, you know, because even though he's not a civilized man, he left behind his jazz pianist ways. He does pretend to be nice, so that's kind of cool of him.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Want to field the last question? How do I stop being afraid of horses?
All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's tackle it. Truthbot, where's the fucking question? You think Truthbot has a little bit of a southern accent?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Hang up there. You know, it helped to think of horses as being like giant dogs that have big fucked up heads and human teeth. You know, horses are just dogs that evolved into a mode of transportation so that us southern boys would stop riding them around instead of eating them and making them fight each other. What, are you scared of dogs?
I think if you're afraid of horses, you should come to New York City, the greatest city in New York, certainly. And you can see the horses there. The conditions we keep the horses in New York City are insanely bad. And if you see these pathetic horses, like just the way they have to live, you will not be afraid of them anymore. You will feel very sorry for them. It's kind of like everything in the city. Everything we do, we just grind it down until they hate life, until they hate it, until they just obey. And yeah, come to New York. It's great.
Fuck New York. Fuck the city. Fuck big LA with all the Hollywood Weinstein and his penis sticking out of his pants and all the...
Well, it's easy for you to say from your fucking ivory tower there in the Ecuadorian embassy.
Ooh, yeah. Ecuador.
Do you have any final thoughts? Do we have anything else? You want to say something? You want to give up? You want to say that maybe I'm right? That you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? You've never been to the country? You don't know shit? Maybe say something like that? Maybe admit defeat?
The city is sinful. It's living in shit. You know,
It makes you strong. It makes you strong to live in shit.
No, it doesn't.
Fuck, it builds character. It tempers the spirit.
We got plenty of shit in the South. The country, if you want to live in the Shit. If you want to live in shit, we got plenty of it. You know, come on down. We'll pile
Yeah,
up.
but it's like a fucking really spread out empty shit. Okay, well, whatever. That's the end of the fucking episode. We don't have any conclusion. Just please hit the credits. Bye.
Don't hit the credits yet.
Just do it. Just end it. It doesn't matter.
No.
We can't do votes. We can't do votes. We can't wrap it up in any good way because we don't have the voting mechanism.
Come on. Who's the correct guy? TruthPoint!
Gary.
You
Great.
motherfucker.
Hell yes.
I'm gonna tell you, this, you know, he's
Yet
in the-
again, another
See.
win. I knew it. I knew I was gonna take this one home. Thank you, TruthBot.